So hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to come on quickly and start a conversation about something that's really important to me and something that a lot of women have been through and I've experienced within the church cult setting as well. And over the next couple of days, I'm going to do a series exploring what happens to women inside church cults, specifically focusing on women, why ABUSC happens, and how we as survivors can reclaim our bodies, our minds, and our power. So this is going to be targeted to women that have experienced SA and men that have eaten out of the Great Bowl, but also for women that have experienced pred behavior. I'm also going to be given a name for this type of ABUSE, and it's already out there, but I think women like get a lot of guilt and shame, and they think that they've consented to like sleeping with these pastors, and that's just not the case. They worship him, Jer. Do you understand what I'm saying? They think that this man is a god. Like they're believing that this guy is a real prophet hearing from God, and he's MAD. Do you know what I mean? My man, he's written a book, Those Who Are MAD. He's writing about himself. That's how MAD this ninja is. Like, I know there's bigger church cults, there's bigger this, but the worship, and I think it's because it's from back home, they got like a real lave mindset, especially from this particular place. Like, it's very colonized, more so than I'd say Nige. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot to unpack with this, and we're gonna get into the. There's gonna be an unveiling of a few survivors that are gonna be speaking out this year. Where are the survivors? Where are they speaking out? We don't need. Where are they? Where? All we see is you. You're gonna be, baby. I've been working on. Survivors don't just speak out. Why do you think you haven't heard voices before this? There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that it takes for me to get survivors to speak out. That takes deconstruction, that takes deprogramming, that takes building personal relationships with survivors. Do you know, I've built, like, we've become like a proper friends, like a proper family, a proper community. Like, I forget how high profile these cases are, and when these survivors speak out, it's going to be bringing down institutions. I forget the power they hold, because it's just the love and the relationship that we formed. I don't even see them as survivors. So you lot are going to see it in real time, exactly what's been going on behind the scenes, because it's taken me 2 years for these survivors to trust me, to be able to hold that space. And if they're anonymous, distort their voice, distort their image, whatever. It takes a lot of trust. You're just an idiot. I can tell you're from that side of the town because you sound out of touch of popular culture. You just sound DUMB. That's why you're indoctrinated over there, chair. That's why, do you know what I mean? You're just in here talking human fecal matter. You're in here advocating for men that are eating out of the Great Bowl and PDFs, and you think you're gonna have a come in here and be having some chat for me? All right, baby. Sorry, we don't endorse nonsense and PDFs on this live, but we love everybody, and the love of the Lord is what spreads. I hope God gives them the strength to come together one day and speak up. We don't need to ask God to give them the strength, babe. I've been strengthening them behind the scenes. I've been calling them. I've been holding the space with them. I've been speaking to them for hours on the phone. It takes real support. And I get what you're saying. We still do need to pray for God to strengthen them. I'm not attacking you. I'm a bit this morning. Hey, Tenny. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not attacking you, but it's just that sometimes I feel like it's just so much over like spiritualization, like a survivor. And I know this is going to be a bit controversial, but there's a survivor that was just used as a schmeg slave in the cult. That's all I'm going to say. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I think in her mind, she still feels like she needs to forgive them. And the thing is, because forgiveness has just been, everything in these church cults has been repackaged for the mogs to get money. So there's no real understanding and truth in the scriptures, and this is why we have the mess that we're dealing with right now. So it's really, I've got a chapter in my book where I'm really breaking down like what forgiveness is. I'm looking at the original meaning and language around forgiveness before it was translated and diluted and changed because King James wanted to bring all the politics and the Protestants and the Catholics. There was unrest and he needed, yeah. Because you can't separate politics and religion. You can separate Yeshua, politics and religion, because Yeshua came to break down those systems, politics and religion. That's why he unalived them. That's why he got unalived. Don't you see? It had nothing. Listen, don't be deceived, Don't be. There's a difference between knowing God and knowing your Bible. Yeah. That's why it says, hey, Redemy, that's why it says that the true sons and daughters of God, that the word of God is written on their hearts. Yeah, God judges, man judges the external, but God judges the inward. The reason God gave us that revelation in the text is because man is just a man. He's always going to judge the outward, like these mogs. You have to be cleaned up. You have to look a certain way. You have to do A plus B equals C. You have to obey them. That's not how God works. God gives you freedom. And rather with that freedom, you choose God. And that's how the relationship grows, and that's how the love grows. And that's why when God says, I will never leave you nor forsake you, that's what God's talking about. Because in your mess, God meets you at your point of need. And even if you never change, God is always there. Hey, Hans, God is always there. And that's the love of God. But that's the frequency that they don't want people to operate at. They don't want people to be free. They want people to be in bondage. They want people to be slaves. Another thing is, you got to think about religion, yeah? It was created to tie into the social constructs, like capitalism. You know, when they take over civilizations and they BURN the books and they try to delete civilizations, and so that we can have like one world order and all this stuff that they're doing. My point is, people in religion are the most indoctrinated. They're the most like controlled. They do everything by the book. They get married, they pay their tax, they do it apart from the pastors. But the young married couples in there will be struggling, you know, paying every bill. But anyway, and then they do their 9 to 5, they rot, so what I'm saying is it's there's the religious matrix, and then there's the 3D matrix that we're in. Thanks, Hans. It's all a matrix. It's all a matrix. It's all to keep us conformed, because laws alone aren't going to stop someone from unaliving someone. Laws alone is not going to stop someone from teething in the shop. Laws alone, it's just a bit of paper. It's the rules. It's the laws. That's why GANGs and like rebels and stuff, you know, they just don't respect it. So they need to get into your psyche. Psychologically, they need to be control you when they're not there. So they can control, because you've got lots of EVIL elitist men in these positions, like a US president. Look at what he's doing in Venezuela. What about the one in the other country, the Russia? You know what I mean? Why hasn't he gone and sorted him out jail? Do you see what I mean? It's all corruption, man, because of the oil. We're all seeing it in real time. What's going on? Yeah. And that's why that US president, this is why so many people are awakening, because you cannot separate politics from religion. It's just that I believe that God has allowed him to go in that position so that people can really see it. It's like a worldwide platform so people can wake up. Anyway, I digress. So religion, politics, can't separate it, all right? same social construct, except it's the most EVIL thing that's ever been created, because it takes away autonomy, free will, choice. I think everyone's waking up now, to be honest, and just being like, oh my God, this is what our problem is. If we didn't have this, we wouldn't have a lot of problems. People would be able to like marry who they want and love who they want, and then we wouldn't have all of these honor-based, you know, unalivings. And it's deep, man. It's so deep. All right, so let me get into the topic for today. I'm going to be talking about Schmegschul, ABUSE in church cults. I think it's really important. There was a situation that kind of just triggered me into thinking, these men are just, you know, like these religious men, yeah, they are the most thirsty, most like, they just love gal. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like they're just in these religious settings, and it's like all of this pent up frustration, and they just project so much on the women. Okay. So over the next few days, I'm going to be doing a series on women inside church cults, why ABUSE happens, and how we as survivors can reclaim our bodies, minds, and our power. So today I want to start with, actually, I'm not going to start with an overview. I'm just going to get straight into it, yeah. I'm not have time for that. If I didn't send this, I'm going to be so upset with myself. I don't think I sent it to myself. Oh, I did. Did I? Okay. Yeah. All right. It's on my other one. All right, guys, let's get into it. All right. Maybe I'm just supposed to start here. Why men of God abuse power schmegshally in church cults, and why it always involves coercion and not just cheating. So we're going to start off with cheating, and there's many layers. So I'm just going to see, when I get tired, I'm just going to come off. All right, this is not cheating. It is actual coercion via power. These men would not have access. So firstly, these mogs and whatever, they wouldn't have access to this pool of women without their religious position. That's the first one. Because a lot of them, when you look at them, you just think, oh my God, why did you even let this man put pause on you? That's people's first mindset, even before they've registered the SA and the nature of it. Do you understand? And and the reason I'm saying this is because the women, there's a certain level of control that these men have over them, and I'm going to get into it. So that automatically removes this from the category of consensual affairs, ordinary infidelity, and moral failure, and places it into, you know what, SA, exploitation via authority. Psychologically, this aligns with power facilitated SA coercion. You know, I can't say that I'm saying SA, guys. Authority induced compliance, trauma bonded SA access. This is not just driven by them wanting to sleep with the women by desire alone. It is driven by power, entitlement, and control. So let's look at the core psychology in this, narcissistic and compulsive SA patterns. Not all ABUSers are narcissists, but the system produces narcissistic traits. That's very important for you to grasp. So there's like, a man might just be a gallus, like a player. And before he came into the church cult, he was sleeping around. And when he comes into the church cult, he realizes that he can just have free reign in there and just be sleeping with different gals, because the women are going to get blamed and not the men. Because there's the ones that are like the preds, and then there's just the men that are like gallus. You know what I mean? And they're just like sleeping with loads of different girls because they've got access to do that. Do you see what I mean? It's crazy. I wouldn't say that because there's a difference between pred nature and then a guy who's just like been in the church cult. He's so young, he's been born into it. So he's just the same thing he'd do if he was outside in the world, which is just be a 304. He's just doing that in the church. So they like to act like everything's perfect in there, but it's like, oh baby, come on. These men, especially the ones who are born in there, do you think they're just virgins until they get married? Come on, babe. And then they give them these positions, and then they've got access to all these women. Are you all right? And all the women are throwing themselves onto them because they're the son of Bishop Dag. Come on, man. What's this saying in the cult? I might have been born yesterday, but no. Oh, what was it? I wasn't born yesterday. Oh, I forgot what they used to say in the cult. Are there any Ghanaian survivors? All right. So key features that we're seeing as a pattern is public moral superiority, private compulsive SA behavior. Guys, can you like the live? Dehumanization of women, lack of empathy for victims, justification via theology, and then SA entitlement. Thank you, babe. Narcissistic SA entitlement. My needs override your autonomy because I'm chosen, anointed above you. So these men don't experience sleeping with, you know who, as mutual, intimate, relational. They experience this intimacy as regulation, validation, discharge, and domination. And you know what, guys? I don't even think this is just for the pastors, you know. I think this is for a lot of men. Like all the married men are like this, innit? So it doesn't matter whether they're a mog, whether they're just all the same. Do you know what I mean? It's just that the element with this is that there's like this, you know, there's the theology tied to it. And that's why I think a lot of the women are going mad. Because if the theology is not attached to it, you almost go mad anyway. So I think the theology part is the part that tips people over the edge. And that's why coercion is always present. Oh my God, you lot, man. I feel like there's a little hair on my nose here. It's not bogey, but it's like tickling. All right. As I'm reading this, I'm going to come on from the other one. Okay, so why it's always coercive. Let's look at the neuroscience of power. So power changes the brain. And look, I was just saying that. The indoctrination, the theology. Because it's not preaching, is it? It's indoctrination. Oh, hey, Jay. You all right, babes? Research in social neuroscience shows power reduces empathy, power increases impulsivity, power activates reward circuitry, power reduces perception of others as fully human. Oh my God. So that's where we kind of, because guys, I'm not going to lie, yeah, I was so indoctrinated, yeah. When actually it was on this day. Oh my God, how crazy is that? Oh my God, you lot, this was the day I'm talking about. Woo! My stomach, I feel sick. This is the day I'm talking about. Can you see the intensity in this picture? This is my cult leader, Dag Heward Mills. And look at this girl here, how she's hating. You know, like how, because he chose me out of everybody in the crowd. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's them kind of things that get noticed. I got promotions after this. I also sung in the choir. I also sung solo. Anyway, on this day when he came, there was like a point when he I don't even know, I went to go and meet him afterwards in the office because he was asking for board members, people to commit to pay Healing Jesus board members £100 a month, 100 British pounds, you know, in 2008. That was like pledging £1,000 now, you know, because the money's different. Pledging it was a lot of money at that time. I'm telling you, there weren't many people who went. It was like 5 of us, because he was asking us to commit to £100 a month for 12 months. So they do these little, they're like pyramid schemes in there, like how they raise the offering and stuff. Like, they know what they're doing. Like, Dad could go out, like, you know, go Venezuela, and then he goes out and he sees a beautiful building there and he decides, oh, I want to buy this. I'm going to book me a flight to London, book me a flight to the UK next week. I need to raise 250,000 here, and then I need to raise 250,000 there, and we will get it. And then he just gets the top up from Ghana. Dag, I hope that the top up's working, because you're not getting that cash flow from the UK anymore. So I hope that, you know, all the members in Ghana are able to cover the costs for all the British members and the UK, yeah, the UK United Kingdom members that you're losing. And then on top of that, there's a cost of living. We're living in an economic depression. Do you know what I mean? So on top of people hearing what I'm putting out there, people just don't have the money. So I don't think people want to risk it. Do you know what I mean? They'll be in there for the social. They'll be in there to get their little, you know, their little heart tickled. And do you know what I think's really funny? You reap what you sow, because now they have to be in there begging it with everyone, being a bottom B. They've got to get, their rules are more relaxed, so people are able to use the systems more, and that's how I wanted it to become. Do you know what I mean? You can't get your own way. You can't operate like you used to, baby. There's absolutely no way. If you want to keep making that money, if you want to keep getting them bums on seats and getting them coins, yeah, if you want to keep doing that up, then yeah, you gotta get with the program, guys. It might make a noise. You gotta get with the program, baby. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is. And they don't like it. Why? Because I'm coming on here and speaking truth. I'm all right, Connor. All right. So I've gone all the way down. Yeah. All right. So we're on to the core psychology, narcissistic compulsive sexual patterns. So so I've said that they take on the pseudo personality, so they get the narcissistic traits. So the key features that we're seeing, these patterns, are public moral superiority, private compulsive SA behavior. So these preds like to get the women alone. I've got cases of, you know, pastors luring women to hotels, you know, like all different types of stuff. Dehumanization of women, and that's through the breaking down, the derogatory terms, the Jezebel, all of that. The lack of empathy for victims, justification via theology, and the fact that they don't talk about SA, all of the evils of like the women, like women are unalive in every second. Why aren't they talking about it? But instead you're talking about how to get rich. Who cares? You lot who are inside of these systems and you've got daughters, you're severely indoctrinated, because you're sitting in there talking about how to get rich. Every day you're going there, you're BROKE. And then them same streets that your daughter's got to walk on to go to school, to travel back, this, that, and the third are not safe, baby. So you're out here doing up the most for me, but I'm outside in these streets, making these streets and these communities safer. Yeah? All right. That's why I said I'm not playing by the rules, baby, because these Porschers and Mogs don't. So why am I doing that up? They want you to play by the rules when it comes to them. But when it's them, they're out here essaying women, taking what they want, teething up people's money. You're having a laugh. That's why I don't care. People are saying, oh, Leah, you're being too much for Ghana. Me not care. Me not blood clot here. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you think Ghana's the only country in the world that exists? No, baby. There's people all over the world. I'm international. And like Dag, I don't tell lies. Yeah? I've really got survivors internationally outside in these international global streets in the car. Yeah, I'm not faking statistics. I'm not forcing people. I'm not mobilizing. I'm not begging people. Share a link with your friend. Share the people. I'm not doing all of that, babes. People come on. Look, I'm on that. Look at the time. I came on at 5, baby. And I still got people on here. I'm surprised. So it's like in there, it's very forced. So I don't care. I'm myself. I'm not changing who I am. I'm not changing who I am. Not a day in your life. You take it or you leave it, babe. I'm the only one who's out here risking my life, putting my face on it, putting my stamp on it, supporting survivors. I've given my whole life to this. And if you don't like it, that's not my problem. I don't need your validation. I don't need you to accept me. I don't need you to tick off or sign off things that I'm doing. Me not care. Me not blood clot care. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Me not care. Me not care. Because you're not living with my disability. You're not the one who wakes up one morning and doesn't feel their legs. You're not the one who can't take your child out for shopping for their birthday because you're physically weak. You're not the one who cannot work because of the trauma and because of the toll that the trauma has had on your physical body. You're not disabled as a result of the toll. So you can't come and tell me how to do what I'm doing. And that's on period, point blank. That's not even up for discussion. It's not even a point. It's not even a topic of conversation. You know them ones. Don't come unaware any day coming and telling me nothing, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because I was listening to all of these malignant narcissists for so long. I don't want no one telling me nothing. Oh, thanks, Pele. I don't want no one telling me nothing. I'm not interested. I don't want your advice. Advice, you have to ask for advice. Do you understand what I'm telling you? You need to ask for advice. And this is why, instead of people just doing up, you know, hyper-religiosity, go and get yourself in therapy, chair. Do you know what? It's not even about therapy. It's gone beyond that. You need to do shadow work. You need to do shadow work. You need to look in that mirror and you need to see. And a lot of these men are in unhappy marriages. A lot of these men in these church cult settings are in unhappy marriages, and it's all projection. They don't LOVE the other person. There's absolutely no attraction. They wake up. You know, what I need you lot to understand, because I was married for almost a decade. And I'm going to start not exposing, but just talking about the marriage, yeah? Because it's like these single married folks are playing with me outside in these streets. What I'm going to say, first of all, is the marriages are absolutely unalived. It's like living in HEWARD. You feel like you're doing time. When you wake up in the morning and you see the individual next to you, you're like, oh my gosh. Sometimes, not even sometimes, there are men that HATE the sound of their wives breathing. There are men right now in these church cults advising people, telling them about Jesus loves them, this, that, and the third. And when they're sitting down and they're eating a meal, they don't even have dining tables because they live in like really small council flats. A lot of them are deprived. So I don't know. Where do they eat? On the sofa? Because I've got a dining table. So when they're out here talking my name and saying this, that, and the third, I've got a dining table. So that's where me and my children eat. But it would probably be in their bed or on the sofa. So, or in the same area as the kitchen and the living room, because a lot of them, even when they're married, have to rent studio flats, are still living in their mama house in their old box room since they were born. And then there's even couples that I know of that have gone to rent, you know, like shared accommodation, like they're doing up students. So when they're there with their little 20p, you know, bucket ring, and they're all walking around, and Mrs. Just know that they are suffering, chair. Because you see, when you get married, it's like the government, that's why they like the institution of marriage, because they could just bleed you dry, man. It's taxes, you get this. Even if the woman, because what happens is these young people get married young. I got married young. Even if you're on a good salary, the men never come. Like men, it takes them longer to get established in career, this, that. So even though they're coming together with two wages, it's like there are people who on with their one wage are making more than the two couples combined. So how does that improve your life? I think you're bonding and tying yourself to poverty. And this is the deception that a lot of women have fallen for. Because they come straight out of uni, they're all in love, I want to get married. They're on like maybe 25k a year. They marry some DUMB guy who's on around the same. That guy's on 27, 30k. You have one child, he's still on the 30k. He's not doing nothing, he's just ministry. Then the woman's still on 30k, but they're having more kids. And the cost of living is going up, but they're in cuckoo land. And that's why a lot of them are they're just bugging out in these spaces now. Because it's like, it's the realization of, look at the times that we're in, and they're not prepared. They're not prepared spiritually. They're not prepared physically. They're not prepared psychologically. They're not prepared. If there was to be another lockdown tomorrow, these church cults are crumbling. They're going to crumble. They won't be able to, what's the word? You know, like come back like they would have. And the thing is, guys, in 20 years, it's not that like religion's not going to have the significance it has now. Have you seen the archaeologists are like finding all of these like, you know, like civilizations like that they try to delete. There's just so much information coming out every day. It just feels like a plethora of information. And what you're going to notice is the indoctrinated people who are wrapped up in religion are going to start being like, oh, the internet is EVIL. There's just so much out there. No, because you don't want to face the truth, babe. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to face the truth that your marriage is unalived and your husband don't LAVE, he's in love with his mistress. You don't want to hear this. You're just coming on to scroll it. You're just coming on there to look and see what content you can find to support your human fecal matter. You know what I mean? They're coming on here looking for content where they're going to hear Prophetess Leah that's going to tell them that it is Jezebel guy. I pray that the Jezebel will get her hands off your husband. There's someone here I can sense that you are having problems in your marriage. Like, come on, babe. Everyone's having problems in their marriage in these institutions. Everybody. That's not prophetic. That's common sense. That's an educated like, you know, guess. It's an educated whatever, you know. It's not everybody in there is thirsty. Do you understand? And that's why the preds in these environments are different, because most of the women are washed up, retired 304s who are covering everything with hyper religiosity. They haven't married women. That's been their choice. It's been arranged by the church cult. A lot of these women are quite unfortunate looking, cantankerous. And also there's this air of pride and, you know, just very patronizing. And then the modesty, like we can see, like Breenie Lee, I used to be able to watch her content. But now it's become, with the recent video, it's just become so repulsive. And I just wonder, oh, is her fiance, is he liking that? And we're going to go into the male psychology. We're going to go into the male psychology of what men want, because there's what the canon says that men want. And let's remember that they like going with the King James. And we know that King James was a beautiful princess. Do you know what I mean? Was part of the LGBTQ community. There are factual sources, yeah, that I trust more than how the canon was put together. All right, my love, because those are handwritten letters between King Charles and his lover. I think it was the Dutch of, what was it? The Duke of whatever. Yeah. So what I'm going to say to you, my love, is that, you know, what's said in the canon, I wouldn't take it at face value, because it's been interpreted by a man who he didn't have, you know, I don't think that he's the best person to listen to, because he had a wife and had his kids for show, but he was definitely in love with the Duke. Yeah. So I'm going to be referring to male psychology, not what the canon is saying. Okay. Because I think it's convoluted. And I believe, you know, when you deconstruct, you see that with the Council of Nicaea, you know, they just put together whatever books fit that patriarchal. So it's a patriarchal, misogynistic lens of that faith. Unfortunately, the voices of women and other disciples and just followers of Jesus, because it was a movement, you know, they've put all these names on it. They've decided not to include that in the canon. And also there's the Apocrypha. That's not in there. And then let's not forget all of the hidden books in the underground dungeon of the Vatican. Okay, because when we saw the Pope that unalived the other day, I think that a lot of the the robes and the attire that they were wearing. It was very interesting. It was very questionable. I think it was giving more worship to the son of the morning. Yeah, the morning bright star. It looks like it's a synagogue of the morning of the bright star. Are you guys following what I'm saying? Opposed to anything to do with God, okay? And you guys see those as your grandfathers. I mean, this year it's going to really pop off because I'm going to be really coming for Catholicism as well, okay? So, and this is something that I have to do because in my church cult, there's a lot of people that think it's okay to have the Catholic beliefs and whatever. And it is. I was brought up Catholic. I was married in the Catholic Church and I absolutely adore Catholicism, and being from the UK, it's a beautiful religion. And Dag is absolutely obsessed with it. Yeah, you can see in the iconography. Let me get a picture as I'm talking, actually, because it will be quite nice for me to put the picture up and really break down what I'm talking about. Give me a second. I know I've got this picture somewhere. Where's the picture? I know I've got the picture. It's somewhere here. Oh my God, where's the picture? Oh, did I delete it? Sorry guys, give me a minute. I really, really want to find this picture. Oh no. All right, because I can't find it, I'm just going to put the compound up. Yeah. Hey, Lil Shishi. So he's really into like the iconography. He wears like the whole bishop's hat. They wear like all the costumes, you know, like the robes of the... So Dag is absolutely obsessed with Catholicism. And I think it's because of the, you know, like the influence that they've had, the power that Catholicism has, because they're just... That's all it's about for them. All right. So let's look at narcissistic essay entitlement. So this is what a lot of these preds, this is how they think. My needs override your autonomy because I am chosen, anointed above you. And remember, they're not well. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're not well. So in their heads, they really believe that, and this is what I need. This is, if anything, thanks for the follow, my love. If anything, you know, people ask me, oh, what is your goal? If anything, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to educate people to see that a lot of these men are mentally unwell. So I use trauma-informed approaches and I use unorthodox, quite RADICAL approaches, because I believe that with these cults, you have to match their energy because they're like fake MAFIAs, like mafias. Do you know what I mean? So they really do. They have this like really, that's why sometimes I change it up and I sit here and I say, oh, hello, my name's it, because that's what they do. Do you know what I mean? They've got like a public image and then they've got like another image that they portray. The difference is I portray both of those images online. So what you see is what you get with me. So if you see me doing a little seductive video, a little schmegsel video, just know I've done that video to release schmegsel energy. I'm not sitting here with a cardigan button to the top and then I've got man them blowing out my back every other day of the week. I've got different cars here. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking like that's what my day job is. That's how a lot of gal them is moving in these settings. That's not me though. So when I do a little video and I'm looking whatever, they want to come and judge me. But baby, no one's been up in this for over, how long has it been now? It's well over 2 years. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like my kids have never been introduced to another man apart from their father. But there are gal them in the church cult that have pastors come into the yard. Their children are seeing the pastors come into the yard and the pastors are blowing out their back. And then they're married. And then they're taking their kids to the church cult. And then you want to come and have some chat for me? Oh, she's divorced. Da, 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 da. Listen, babes. That's why the PKs, they come out the most. It's so extreme what they do up. It's like you're shocked that that's a PK. You're like shocked that they were ever in the institution. Thanks for the follow. It's like we're not DUMB anymore. And this is my cult leader's compound behind me. This is his Anakazo Bible School. They recruit and groom all the kids from London and get them to go out there and study. It's an incubation indoctrination camp. That's literally what it's like. And it's in the middle of nowhere. Like I've had survivors that have come back from here and they said that they felt like held against their will. And they allegedly they take their passports on site. So they actually removed the passports. And when, was it when COVID was going on? Yeah, like they were isolating people, like locking people like in a room when they had COVID. Guys, it was mad. I'm not going to lie. the accounts that I've got from the Anakazo Bible School, and I will be sharing like photos and stuff that survivors have given me. Guys, it's gonna pop off this year, I'm telling you. Thanks for the follow. It's gonna absolutely pop off. Yeah, because I'm coming for the Anakazo Bible School. I'm gonna do like a whole breakdown because it's just the MESS from the structure. It looks like Thameside Prison. Do you lot know Thameside? Oh, thanks for the follows. I'm so encouraged here. Do you lot know? Because I've been so sick. Do you lot know Thameside? Do you lot know Thameside in Plumstead? This is exactly how it looks. I've done side by side pictures. Like, it's crazy. But what I'm saying is over there, they see it as something. Do you know what I mean? Because there's more corruption. Hey, Juju, there's more corruption. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, the government don't invest in their people the way that they should. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, the UK is so corrupt, but at least we got like the benefit system. You know, they try and do up a little bit of social housing for it. They're just nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right? So when Dag does something little, like he just does up this, which is, it just looks like so budget. It's like they see it as something. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got to remember he's recruiting people in the village. They've never seen it like this before. So there's a lot of exploitation going on here. And I've got a lot of love for my people in Africa, man. These are my brothers and sisters. Even though I'm advocating for you lot over there, I'm here in the UK in my nice house. Yeah. With my internet, and I have everything here. I don't even need to talk about you lot over there. I don't need to at all. Do you see what I'm doing? Manipulation. This is what these pastors do. They manipulate you. Oh, I have traveled so many places and I am doing this for you. I am building for you. Da, 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 da. That's how it works. You didn't even know that was manipulation. He's probably falling for it. And then you want to come on here and have some chat for me. I'm teaching you so much. I'm setting you free, baby. Dogmatic cultism is one of the most dangerous mindsets in the world. It's the opposite of freedom. Oh, God. I love it when you come on, you know, with your little philosophical quotes. Absolutely beautiful. Juju, do you want to do something for my book? Because, you know, I've got a book that I'm doing in March. And there's a part that I'm doing on, like, the collective voice. And it doesn't have to just be survivors. It can be writers, people who have an interest in the topic. So if you're interested, my love, even if you wanted to give me a couple of quotes like that, let me know. All right. So again, I want to emphasize that these men in these positions, these mugs and porsters and whatever, that essay women, that violate them, these men don't experience sleeping with them as mutual, intimate, relational. They experience it as regulation, validation, discharge, and domination. And that's why a lot of the women that are in marriages, they might get their backs blown out, but the men don't, their husbands don't kiss them, they don't look at them. It's like how you would deal with someone from the outside. You know, if you were getting services, that is how these wives are getting treated. They're paying 50% on all the bills. They're cooking like a slave. They're looking after all the kids. Then the man is just using them, like just going in them. Just they're getting nothing out of the experience. And that's why when the women are like, they can't even come and be like, oh, she's jealous. She's this, she's that. Baby, I want you to get married, my love. Inshallah. I want you to get married, babe. That's what I wish for all the women in there, especially the ones like Breenie Lee. I'm just sitting, oh God, you lot don't understand. You see me, yeah? I've learned, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious, so I don't believe in instant outcomes. God is not a microwave. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not instant. It's not instant. God doesn't move that way. God moves with seasons, flows, and with cycles. They've done it like, packaged it like McDonald's, turned God into a genie, into Santa Claus, Father Christmas, a Joke. Like the way that they talk about God and interpret God, now we're seeing in real time that it's just, yeah. Because the way that they interpret it is now giving distortion of reality. So now we're questioning your mental state. Yeah. So I'm into like, you know, frequency, vibration, because you have to be able, we have to have some type of evidence, because God is not a God of confusion. So there's always, God always gives evidence. Back in the day, it might have been the burning bush. And now we've got AI, babe. So if you're saying that Jesus met you or you saw Jesus, get out that phone, sweetie. Get out that phone. Because we are in the age of technology, instant, all right? No matter how shocked you are, sweetie pie. And no matter, chair. Because you always on that phone 24 hours a day. So now you're on the phone 24 hours a day. We're living in a virtual reality. Now when Jesus Christ comes to see you and meet you, there's no phone. Oh, please. So the reason why a lot of these mogs and whatever are still standing to this day is because they come from the generation of the DUMB ones. Yeah, the Gen X, the bunny boilers, whatever. They didn't have the internet. Anything you tell them, oh, wow, woo. Yeah. So from the 70s, like Macedo, like UCKG, like DAG, from the 70s and the 80s, and then they've got the generations. It's like Catholicism. So they're not going to be able to recruit like they used to, and they're going to see the impact like over the span of like the next 2 decades. Oh, thanks, Juju. It's crazy. Like, and this is why you're going to try and silence my voice. Why? Because I'm speaking. Everyone's allowed to speak. It's only you lot that want to control what people, take away people's free will and control people and take away what people can do and don't. That's not God. That's from the other side, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Even the government in this 3D matrix give us more freedoms than these church cults. Why do you want to be a slave? You need to unpack that. You need to unpack why you don't LOVE yourself. You need to unpack why you're in there believing in someone with severe mental health claiming that they're a prophet. You need to unpack that, sweetheart. You need to unpack why you're there. There's one guy that's church cult hopped. He was in my cult for 18 years. Now he's doing up RPF. This guy his wife just had a baby the other day. So they've got 4 kids. And this guy is BROKE. They're probably living in a 2 or 3 bedroom council house. Because he definitely doesn't have the financial backing to get a mortgage that I know. I can tell by his visible vulnerability. A lot of you guys, you men, you have visible vulnerabilities. So no matter, even if you're wearing that suit, it's just giving BROKE. And another thing that I want to let you know is we're no longer listening to BRKE-ness, because your pastors are millionaires and billionaires, but y'all are broke. All right. So do you see where there's the disconnect? So you're like, that's why these standing on the street and doing that, well, it's not working anymore, because we're going to challenge you. And we're going to say, oh, where's your pastor? How much is your pastor making? Do you know what I mean? So it makes no sense, because you're driving a dented Nissan 2002 car with your 3 kids, yeah, squashed in the back, and your wife that you love so much, that you find ever so attractive. You have so much in common. You have so much fun conversation. So here you are in your lovely banger, driving on the way to church in your suit it looks so expensive, in the beautiful Nissan turquoise car with the dents in the side, and the kids at the back, severely indoctrinated. You're probably none the wiser of their neurodivergence and trauma that they've incurred, thinking that you're the #1 parent because you're forcing them to go to church. So do you see now why we're just not really interested? Because the people who are in there, we don't see any progress, unfortunately. And it's not just about, we're not saying that everybody in there has to be rich, but the disparity of the way your pastor's living to the way that the majority of the congregation is living, it's just crazy. Someone who has a real heart of a pastor, like a real heart for like the sheep, for the people, they won't be living in a big mansion. Do you know what I'm saying? Because how many kids has David Antry got when they've got like 2 kids? That heart is like, do you know what? I'm moving to a smaller house so that I can invest something for the people. You'll always be thinking about the people, like sacrificing yourself, like even giving up the things you have. Like that's a real heart of like a pastor. They don't have a heart of a pastor. They got a heart of a thief. We were searching, begging for mercy, looking for God. They put us through the BS, kept us cult locked. Yeah, man. It's such a violation of like human rights. Do you know what I mean? They strip us of our human rights. We don't have no rights when we're in there. We ain't got no rights. And that's when you demonize, when you take away, when you strip someone from their rights, you are demonizing them. That's what you're doing. You're demonizing them. I want to also show this because I think out of everything that Dag has done, this to me is the most strangest of them all. God, and it just sends chills. So basically, I didn't even know I was going to start talking about this, but this is what Dag calls the anointed library. And what he's got is he's kind of, it's like a shrine for, sorry, 1 second, guys. Sorry, it's called the Library of the Anointed. And Dag makes lifelike statues of influential Christian leaders that have gone. Isn't this, I think this is Amy McPherson, I'm just guessing. He's got Catherine Coleman in there. Why would you want to do this? Why would you want to do this? Why would you? And you know what I've realized? These cult leaders have an obsession with death, curses, like and that's where I say that they go into the occult now. Do you know what I mean? Because now they move into like incantations within the guise of prayers. And that's why, like, if you, for me, I just deconstructed all of that rubbish out of my head. Do you know what I mean? So they can't touch me because I don't believe it, babe. How are you going to be sending things to me that I don't believe? That's why Karen and, you know, Joe, who's worked in Asda their whole life, do you know what I mean? She doesn't get affected by this ish. Do you know what? She's like, oh, no, I don't believe in all that. Listen, when I moved to Kent, I learned from the whiteys. They just like, oh, no, love, I don't care about that. This, like, they have like, it's like a simple mind, a simple life. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not doing that up. That's when I work. That's me, chair. I'll go and learn from the Karen, you know, them ones, because what they do is they use like the beautiful Africanized, you know, like the subordinates, the obedience, the submission, the whatever. They use it so much that we'll be going and looking at the Library of the Anointed, this human fecal matter, and thinking that this is normal. This ain't normal, Jaya. This is like stuffing unalived birds or owls. How is this different? What the hell is this? So he makes lifelike statues of influential Christian. Do you know what? Yeah, like you see with Dag, yeah, like I really hope in this lifetime, and this is why I'm feeling like I need to go back to studying. It's so creepy. Once I get out the book and I finish this project, I'm actually going to go and do a doctorate, because I need to understand and I need to give names for people like Dag, you know, so in the future, like, this can't happen, because this is just it's such strange behavior. Like, almost, do you know what it is, guys? And I need to put it through ChatGPT. It's like, you know, these like cult leaders, yeah, they like to use people for entertainment. Does this make sense? Like triangulation, they're very sadistic. Like, they like to put people in situations, you know, like back in the day when the entertainment was the Lion's Den and Spartacus, and they have this mindset. That's very much how they think, and that's how they're entertained. It's a very dark mind, very dark, barbaric mind, yeah? It's giving religious Madame Tussauds, and that's what I think he was trying to do. Because Dag's obsessed with the world. Because you got to understand, a lot of these leaders, they were rejected by the world, and they've got a lot of trauma from being rejected, bullied growing up. They weren't anything. So when they create like all their systems and everything, like they start to create, is this making sense? Because they have obsessions. You know, people, these cult leaders, they spent a lot of time by themselves. You know, Benny Hinn wasn't verbal. He used to stutter a lot when he was younger. He spent a lot of time in the presence of God. You know, it's just giving mental health, chair. That was a way that he coped with his isolation, his stuttering, his whatever, is through hyper religion. And that's why we have the MESS that is Benny Hinn today. Yeah. And then we've got, because they don't owe the world anything. They HATE the world because the world rejected them. And then the scriptures in there don't help when they use it to, you know, evidence their ABUSE. So, you know, guys, you've really got to get into the mind, you know. And that's why I said, for me, I tapped into the darkness of what they were doing up. And when I tapped into the darkness and I realized how EVIL it was like, yeah, I'm not playing by your rules. I match energy. So whatever you lot are doing up, God's going to guide me and lead me to do it up right back at ya. You know them ones. Return to sender. Another thing that they don't realize is, like, I saw Ollie, you know, that preacher, Ollie Sabatelli, you know, them MAD preachers, they've just been going out. I'm so glad their views have come down, and, you know, people don't engage with them. And I'm just so happy with the work that I've done. Do you know what I mean? Because like the content, do you not remember when I was just doing that month, just going hard? Do you remember on the street preachers, like just exposing them, putting all the legislation up to, yeah. I was telling people, don't engage, just contact your local authority, babe. Just hit them up. Just call the police when you see them. Okay? Just call 111. Then send a little patrol over. You know what I mean? And just slap them with them sections. And I started to see that I don't think I'm realizing the impact that I'm making, because it's so hard to measure this impact with like, you know, like hard outcomes and stats and whatever. It's like it's the information, the awareness that I'm putting out there, and I'm going so hard. I got 8 different accounts. And when they really PISS me off, that's when I start posting the same thing on all 8 accounts. And that's when I start going viral and going up on people's timeline, because I'll make myself go viral. I don't need TikTok to do it, babes. I've got 8 accounts. And I'm happy. I'm happy if I post the same thing, TikTok's views have gone right down. Everybody, from people who have hundreds of thousands of followers to a couple thousand, it's just the algorithm's changed. The reward is more on building community now, not on just like quick money and coming on here and, you know, going against the community guidelines. You can't do that. But this works in my favor because I'm not interested in the money. I'm not on here to be asking people for bread. I'm on here to build communities and connect with survivors around the world. So it's working really well. And the algorithm is doing just that. From strict segregated boarding schools into important public facing positions. Ooh, yeah, that's true. Because a lot of them they're mollycoddled. They're like wrapped in cotton wool. A lot of these cult leaders, especially when they come from the other side of the pond. I think this is the one that I wanted to show you, the Catherine Court. Look at this. I think that was that the former Ghanaian president, the one that was there before now. I can't remember his name. So Dag, oh God, do you know what? This picture for me, yeah. Look at how Dag's looking at Catherine Coleman. Guys, I just want you to know, yeah, that these are lifelike statues that Dag Heward Mills has created. He's a cult leader, a Machiavellian, I believe. I spent 18 years in his church cult. And they say, oh, how many times have you met Dag? How many times? About 3 or 4 times, babe. But that's not the issue here. Like, in this cult, you have to study Dag. We do exams on Dag because the books are about Dag. We do exams on Dag. We read books on Dag. We watch Dag. We listen to Dag. The pastors are preaching from Dag's books. The pastors are clones of Dag. We become a clone of Dag. Everything is about Dag, 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 Dag. So don't come in here and be telling your girl, have you met Dag? Where you get? Let me tell you something to my brothers and sisters over there. In England, because we don't have prophet with us, we don't have the privilege of being close to the anointing. So because we are far, how do we catch the anointing? How do we catch it? Through teaching, through the preaching, through the words. So you might be in Ghana and close to prophet, but even Bishop Dag's brothers and sisters are even closer to him internationally. Because we study the words and we know the books. We eat the books. We digest the books. We know the books. That's how you know Dag. Thanks for the follow, Manuel. So you're in for quite a treat. Love you to all my Ghanaian brothers and sisters, because the indoctrination in the epicenter is the control hub, is the strategy hub of the entire international organization. They have to have you very, very controlled as the example for the rest of the world. Thank you, Kizzy. So you are, he is doing modern day slave labor. And another thing is, what I'm also going to be teaching my Ghanaian brothers and sisters is safeguarding policy as well. Because y'all don't have it over there. But because the leaders are so corrupt, unfortunately. But I'm just going to teach you according to what we are doing up over here, so you can identify the ABUSC really clearly. And this week, oh, blessings, my love. There shall be showers of blessings. I have to listen to that song because it keeps coming in my heart. It keeps coming in my heart. I feel like, but in my chord, they say, there shall be showers of blessings, showers of blessings in it. Blessings on blessings on blessings, showers of blessings we need. That's the only way I can sing the song, because that's how they used to sing it. So that's how I remember it. If I try and sing it in a different key, no, it won't work. It won't work at all. because that's how we used to sing the song. And then you want to come in her, oh, stop doing the accent, stop doing this, stop doing that. Oh, I don't care. Because I was doing the accent when I had to sing the local songs and the way the songs wanted to be sung. I'm writing a book, babe. I'm writing a book. All right. So let's get into... Why has it gone all the way up here? It's talking about the epicenter. I want to come back to what I was talking about. Okay. I've gone a bit off, but I don't really care. I think Sister Watermelon, I'm going to introduce my Ghanaian brothers and sisters to Sister Watermelon as well this week, because I think you'll be able to receive more from her than you will from Leah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna bring her in because I'm starting to feel a little bit better. All right. So what part was I on? Okay, yeah, part 2. Okay, this is not right. Okay. So key features that we're seeing: public moral superiority, private compulsive essay behavior, demonization of women, lack of empathy for victims, justification through the words, through theology, so indoctrination, and then that leads to essay, that leads to the violation of women. And also the women, they don't even, they're like, the reason why with the essay is so deep is because you're controlled in there already to another level, and then being like someone's slave in that area, you've got no control over your body then. There's a survivor, she experienced so much ABUSE around this, and how this woman is still standing today, still alive to tell the tale. And this is why, like, when people, and I respect, like, if you're atheist, agnostic, whatever you believe in, I respect you all. But this is the reason why, for me, you know, I still believe in God, because there are survivors who, when I look at their life, I don't even want to get emotional. Oh my God. When I look at their life and all the abuse that they've been through, and they're still standing, they're still living, like, every day, like, makes me believe that there is a God. And I just want to say to any of the women, and not only women, like, who were used as, like, you know, whatever they were doing with them, but also a lot of this ABUSE women have experienced in marriages as well. And this is what oh, hi Kwame, this is what makes us, you know, like, in the marriage, there's a lot of, like, essay going on in the marriage. Like, there's like, the marriages are bad, man. The marriages are like prisons. They're HEWARD. A lot of women are suffering. You're right, Kwame. It's like, because we can't see God. God is not tangible, innit? And people want something to see. And that's what religion does. It makes something that's invisible. Hey, Leo Ruth. It makes something that's invisible visible. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's the trickery in it. Do you see? Very deceptive. And spirituality, you know, you can't measure. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's a personal relationship. So that's why people, like, cult hop and go to different church cults for different miracles and different answers and stuff, because they're so used to, like, God, you know, like, answering quickly. And another thing that people need to understand is God does not work through money, like material stuff, and it's man-made. God will give you the idea to make the money that will bust. God will give you the energy to do this. So when they, and that's why it's so warped, because when they get a tax rebate that is generated by a system, they're standing up in the altar and giving testimonies for getting a tax rebate. So the psychology is, they've got them so DUMB that you got people giving testimonies for receiving a tax rebate, yeah? Or like some sort of inheritance that they were definitely gonna get. But the psychology behind it is they want them to come up and give the testimony. Oh, glory be to God, 10%. Miss CHM in the car, I'll take your 10% now. So it's all about money. The psychology, like the psychology with these guys, yeah, it's just on a different level. It's like world domination. Do you know what I mean? Like Pinky and the Brain, like it's just EVIR. So this aligns with narcissistic essay entitlement. My needs override. Why do I keep going to that bit? Okay, I'll have to, okay. I'm going to repeat this because I'm chosen, anointed above you. These men don't experience. This is really important to understand that when these men are sleeping with the women in the church cult and whatever, they don't experience schmegs as mutual, intimate, relational. They experience it as regulation, validation, discharge, domination. So that's why when a married man, they like to paint mistresses as like whores and this and that. But that's why when a married man gets a woman and he connects with her schmegshally, they're just out there cheating all the time. So the woman becomes like a drug for them. It becomes like oxytocin, it becomes like a dopamine rush. So when they're out there, like, you know, slaughtering the mistresses and whatever, it's just wrong. Because a lot of these marriages, they wouldn't even be married if it weren't for the mistress. That's when the wife starts to realize that she wants her husband. It's so toxic. A lot of these marriages are so karmic. They just HAT each other, really. And a lot of them resent each other. But it's because of the culture and the kids. You know, the archaic, so they're like trapped. So it's just the same cycle. And then they're teaching their kids that ABUSE is love. And then, do you see what I mean? So the cycle just keeps repeating. And it's all because of this. It's just the narcissism. It's the narcissism. So why it's always coercive, neuroscience of power. Power changes the brain. Research in social science shows power reduces empathy. This is important, guys. Power increases impulsivity. Power activates reward circuitry. Power reduces perception of others as fully human. When men hold unchecked spiritual authority, the brain shifts into reward seeking, dominance oriented, processing, entitlement bias, add essay repression, and you get compulsive discharge through control. Oh my God, this is so deep, isn't it? Ooh, child. Oh my God. Are you lot getting this? Do you want me to break it down further? Like, are you lot seeing the links between the narcissism, the power, the lack of empathy, and how it will be exasperated? Because you know, narcissists like high power positions, but remember, this is putting them into the position of godlike worship. That's why the men do it till they unalive, because they need the supply. And how they paint it is like, they've been doing ministry for 50 years, serve faithfully. No, babe. You've been a thief. You've been exploiting people for 50 years and siphoning people's energy. That's why they live long. Because they know the secrets of the universe. It's not praying to God for long life. You are all there praying to God for long life while he's siphoning your energy, stealing your inheritance, taking it for his own generation, living in a mansion. Dag lives on that street in Ghana. I'm going to be exposing it all. Because you got to understand, like, I joined the cult in the 2000s. So I'm old school. I'm old school Lighthouse Chapel International. I was raised and brought up and grown by proper Ghanaian Ga women. My LP was a Ga woman. The textbook Ga. Even when she would go like that to me, tap me on my shoulder, I feel like the woman's broken my shoulder. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not afraid of many people. I'm not afraid of her now. Like, yeah, I mean, I care. But back then, you know, like I'm not afraid of no one. But this woman, whew, when I tell you about hardness, so you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there with me, because my ex-husband's Nigerian and they're Edo. He's from Benin. You know, that's a completely different level, because they believe that they're the dynasty, they're the royalty of the whole of Nigeria. Yeah. Okay. All right, my love. That's the level that I was dealing with for 10 years, for almost a decade. Yeah. So there's no one that's going to come in the cut and start having some chat. I don't care if you were born in Niger, babe. I don't care. Because you've never had a man to come and put a ring on your finger. You've never been accepted into the other family like that. You don't know what you're... I know more about Niger marriage than you, because I was married for 10 years. You're going to come and tell me, oh, why is she talking like that? Why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? And then after that, most of the D that I've taken has been Nigerian mandem. Are you all right? Let's not do that, babe. Do you get what I'm saying? For that whole 2 years, your girl was just eating, ayamashe. You get me? Like, don't play with me, baby. I'm not the one. Do you know what I mean? A gussie with my pounded yam. Like, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Do you know what I mean? That my ex, my uncle that I was seeing, every time I was sick, he'd come and bring me the sachet. You know the sachet that they take their like their paracetamol. That sachet is good. So don't play with me, babes. I'm not the one. I'm not the one, sweetie. All right. Listen, the uncles that I used to be dating, they would get deliveries, like, you know, when I'm ill, like big crates of oranges and all of the big things of water. Like babes, I'm not the one. Like I really, before I was celibate, I liked it local. I liked it local. The more local and the more village, that's what your girl was on. That's what I liked. All right. That's why for me, it wasn't just like these gal them that are out here just 304 in. I actually was actually attracted to the uncles. Like, that's my type. So it's just a win-win for me. It was just a win-win. Your girl was booked and busy outside in these streets. They were loving me. Are you all right? Do you know what I mean? Like, they're really feeling the authenticity. Like, yeah, this girl's actually into me. Do you know what I mean? They couldn't even believe it. Anyway, I digress. So you see that the power changes the brain. When men hold unchecked authority, the brain shifts into reward-seeking, dominance-oriented, and then that eggshell suppression, because remember, they're eggshell suppression, they're suppressing their true desires, and they're not getting it met through the wife because she's unfortunate looking, and then they've arranged the marriage. Please like the live, guys. So this leads us to compulsive discharge through control. This is why they don't pursue equals, they pursue subordinates. They seek secrecy and obedience. They escalate behavior over time. All right. So let's look into the Madonna Hall complex. But this is evolved. Is this what was I reading this bit? Okay. All right, guys, whatever I'm reading, this is what I'm reading. It's got to be all mixed up. Is it making sense? Hey, Leila, is it making sense? And then I'm going to start doing the content as I'm feeling better. But guys, I might be doing lives as and when I'm feeling all right, because guys, my health has deteriorated. Today's been the first day that I've actually been able to, like, you know, like lie up like this. Ciao, guys, I've got to be in recovery. I've got to be in my bed, man. It's crazy. All right. Because I'm in this for the marathon, the long haul. I've got to listen to my body. I have to be so strict with myself. It's so hard because I've got ADHD as well. But my body, it's like inside, my brain's like this, running around. And I want to run around the house and, you know, go and do this and that because I've got projects I'm working on. But my body is like this. Like, my body will not physically let me move. And you see now, like, the pains have started in my legs. I get like a couple of minutes of alrightness in the morning. It's mad, man. All right. So let's get into it. So the Madonna Hall splitting in cult settings becomes something more dangerous. So a lot of men just have this outside in these streets. So if you're a lady, please stay on and listen to this. Sacred, profane splitting. So women are divided into sacred women, wives, church, women, daughters. Oh, thanks, Bubble Baby. Love you. De-eggshelized, controlled, resented, profane women, outsiders, worldly women. That's why they paintbrush us with the worldly women. 304s. Guys, I say 304s because I'm not trying to use it as a derogatory statement. I have to use it for TikTok because they report me up so much. Please do not get offended. I'm a very spiritual girly. I will have a ministry, one ministry. Oh God, it's because I'm talking about all of this. God help me. I will have, what's going on? I will have a project or something for specifically to help 304s. I'd love to have that globally because these mogs and these pastors, they target these type of women. They target these type of women, and it's very dark. It's very dark, but they target these type of women, and I just want to, I just want to help them. I just want to, All right. So do you see that the women are divided into two sections? So you've got the sacred women, the wives, church women, daughters, and then they also infantilize the women as well. Because I've got a survivor working on the infantilization of the women. I've been having a lot of conversations with her, and they do. It's like the woman will be like in 27, 25, and the dad's still looking at her like she's 10. Very strange. So it's that infantilization, the de-eggshelization, and the controlled resentment. And then we've got the women that are, you know, on the outside. They are the profane women, the worldly women, the 304s, the eggshellized, objectified, disposable, discardable. And that's why they don't discard the wives, because they're laves. They are the bin. Sorry guys, I just got to keep it real. I just got to keep it real, because that's what they do. They just throw rubbish in our mouths. They just human fecal matter all over us, cheat on us. They don't push themselves as much, because the woman's doing half of the work for them or more. It's like 70-30%. That's why, like, you know, there's that trend going around, the divorce effect. Yeah, is it the divorce of whatever? And it's like you're seeing the women, and it's so shocking. Like, you're seeing that I need to do it, chill. You're seeing them before and you're seeing them after. But that's because they don't have an energy vampire sucking them and draining them of their actual life source. If you're married and you don't look good, babe, it's because of your husband. That's on period point blank. That's a, and also you don't cur. Because what I realized is, why was my ex-husband letting me walk out the house like that? Like, he's getting ready, looking good, you know what I mean? And you know, these Benin guys, they love themselves, chill. Oh my God. You know, these guys from Edo State, look at Leo Reef liking it up. Oh my God. You know, the Benin guys, chill. Because you know, the Benin men, they're very chiseled. The Benin guys have bone structure. Because all of the Nigerian men are chiseled by the gods. They all are. That's why I'm celibate, because I'm just not going to put myself in that situation. And that's my type. And I've come to learn and accept that this is what's best for me, because it's just too toxic. I need to concentrate on the movement. Or these rich Nigerian men, I mean, they are a whole job in itself. That's why when the gal them are doing up sprinkle, and they're with these rich uncles, and they're not working, and they're paying our bills, and babe, they are our job. They're our job. And a lot of them are married as well. So it's like extra work, because they're so thirsty and so hungry by the time they come to you. Are you all right? Chill! They should be paying them bills, chill. Do you know what I mean? Are you okay? And they like to chat off your ears as well. Oh my God, because they get no intellectual stimulation from the home. So when they're right, they're just chatting off your eardrum. Are you all right? So chill. They need to stop coming for the mistresses, because these mistresses are therapists and they think the mistresses are DUMB. They're not. The spouses, that's why she's there. They get their validation, their ego, they get their intellectual stimulation. Because a lot of the time, these men married the women when they were on the come up, on the hustle, trying to get somewhere. And then when they get to that place, and then they've come up in the world, and then they start to go to places, and they'll meet like women that are now on their level. And so the only reason why they stay with the woman is out of guilt. And because they can do what they want. I've always said, as a man, why would I just have one woman? If I've got a woman that's going to cook and clean, especially when they're handsome, oh my God, if I was a man, oh God, could you not? That's why God didn't make me a man, child. Could you imagine me as a man? Oh my God, I'd be a heartbreaker. You got the best of me. Oh God. All right, you lot. I'm definitely feeling a bit better. If I was a man, I'd want 10. Exactly. Do you know what I mean, Leo Roof? Are you all right? I would want bear gal. I'd just be wanting bear kids. Like, I'd just be breeding up bear gal. For my Ghanaian survivors, breeding means impregnating women. And for bear gal, bear means loads. It means lots of. So like multiple. So you see, when you've got the uncles that are you know, they're just like, what do you call it? Womanizer. You guys would say womanizer. Womanizer. We call them gyalists. Gyalists. We call them just because I can't say, because TikTok's sensitive. And I'm trying to behave myself, because I've had feedback from the Ghanaian survivors, and they've been telling me that they can't understand me all the time. I'm talking too fast. I'm using a lot of slang, and it's genuine, because they want to understand. They do want to understand. And I had some OGs getting angry with me. Leah, everybody needs to understand. We need to be able to circulate the videos. Guys, can you imagine I'm getting told off by OG survivors because I need to keep it like clean, you know, so they can share it. I love it though. I love it, man. I love it, because I've got like, there's so many like different generations that I've got supporting me. It's not just the young, it's not just the, it's I love that it's people all throughout the cycle of life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got kids, like daughters, like there's a link. I can't say too much because it's all a surprise what I've got cooking. behind the scenes, but there's a really key contact, guys, that the universe has just sent my way. It's absolutely amazing how the universe will do things, chair. That's why I say the race, it's true, the race is not for the swift, guys. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane and focus on self. And how this guy even found me was through his daughters telling him about me on TikTok and badgering him to come and watch me. He said there's times on the TikTok they've laughed together, cried together with my content and my lives. And it's just so beautiful. Do you know what I mean? It's so beautiful because what we're creating is authentic. And that's why we need to change like the meaning of church, of a gathering of people. Hey Lula, of a fellow, of what the gathering of the fellowship of the saints means and what that looks like. Because where two or more are gathered in his name, there he is. Do you get me? And that's what we're doing now. It all revolves around God, because I'm demystifying and I'm masking the EVIL so that we can see God. Don't you see? I'm like demystifying it. My approach may not always be, but if I was sitting here like just talking like a professional, like that, no one would listen to me, man. That's boring. No one wants to listen to that. Do you know how social media works, babe? Do you know how the algorithm works? Do you know how they push content? So that's why when people are coming and speaking their human fecal matter, I didn't ask for your advice, baby, because I've been doing this for 2 years. I know what I'm doing in the car. And now this movement has international visibility. Are you all right? Even social services know what's going on. Even social services know what's going on with the church cults. You wait and see. This year is going to be, get ready. That's all I'm going to say. Get ready. And when it happens, it's just going to be like, bam, bam, bam. They're just going to be getting hit with stuff. Because you know how this country works. They don't inform anyone. They don't inform anyone. They're not doing consultation. They just change the law. That's what they do, her. That's what they do, her. So once that law gets changed, you're going to see that there's going to be less of them coming over here. When it's not as easy for them to exploit and manipulate the systems, they'll stop coming. Because it's not about the people, is it? Oh, that's what I was talking about, the library. Well, anyway, guys, you can see us weird as hell. Do you know what I mean? This is what Dag's doing up. Yeah. Making life-size, like, stuffed animals of, like, old Christian leaders. Like, why he feels the need to have to do this is absolutely beyond me. Minano. Do you know the Anakazo Bible School? Yeah, it just has such a dark, like, vibe to it. Does anyone, now when we're just talking about, guys, I just want to talk about energy for a minute, and I'm going to show you a few photos before I delve deeply into this. But could you imagine a pastor luring you into one of these accommodate or whatever and violating you? How traumatic this must be, because it's just giving a horror scene. And I'm not gonna lie, even when I used to see the Anakazo, like when I was in there, it was real cognitive dissonance, because it is what it is, guys. It's a compound. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not gonna lie. Oh God, this gives me so much. Do you know what? The compound gives me a lot of PTSD. I'm not gonna lie. Guys, when I tell you, no word of a lie, yeah, it was like, you see my pastor, my first spiritual daddy, Reverend Edmund Answer, yeah. Obviously, all of the pastors are Ghanaian in there. But do you know what my saving grace was? I didn't know at the time. They didn't have stay. Allegedly, they were illegal immigrants trying to get stay here. So they couldn't go back and forth to Ghana. So the whole time I was in the ministry, you know, like you follow the pastors, you go where they go, you do what they do. So if they had been going to Ghana because they had their stay, like if I had a different pastor, that's why more people in the UK, like there's people that have been to Ghana 10 times, 3 times, 4 times, all of these times. But because my pastor was staged, he wasn't a missionary, they just struggled. They were living in absolute poverty, so they couldn't do the flights and all of that. I think they only went once. That was to like get ordained or something like that. So I never went. That whole time I was there. And then obviously it was like, I was doing up the traveling ministry with Bishop Richard as well in the UK. So we weren't allowed to go on no holidays. We weren't allowed to travel. We weren't allowed to do nothing. Our whole life was around Richard, boy. Did I turn off the heating? Our whole life was around Richard, boy. Richard owned us. We became Richard's property. You know, Bishop Richard Iye, and I'm not gonna, oh, let me put up the picture, because we might as well, innit? We became Bishop Richard Iye's property, yeah? Oh my God, I was in this girl group, guys. It was called The Olives. This is Trishan's wife, Jennifer. Jenny. If anyone knows, is it Trishan from First Love? Tell him I said to Jenny, hi, Jenny. And tell him I said, thanks, Jenny. Jenny taught me how to make fried rice. Big her up, man. Oh, God, I didn't put the water in the pan. Big up Jenny, man. I'm not going to lie. Jennifer can cook, though. Jennifer, do you know what? They rinse Jennifer out. They use Jennifer because you know what it is with Jennifer? Jennifer's a second generation church cult member, all right? So her mum is like, you know, in every cult, they've got the woman that will come and do, like, if they're doing a buffet or they're doing a church event, like back in the day, and her mum would come and do it because she had all the dishes. Do you know what I mean? You know, they're always using people. So anyway, what they did was they basically groomed Jennifer to be like a lave for the cult. So she would do everything for like LP Trudy, look after her kids, clean her house, go and cook, do errands for her, pick up her shopping. If we've got something going on in the cult, say like we've got Agabapta Fest, they got this ritualistic practice where they take us to Little Hampton and they baptize us all in the sea, and it's in the same part of the sea every single year. Creepy. So because Jennifer was brought up like in an adultification way, she had to become an adult well before her time. So she used to like look after her sister a lot, and her mum, like the old school Ghanaian mums will train their kids to be like hard, you know, like working, like, oh, I don't know how to explain it, man, but her mum just groomed her to be like that, and the church cult took advantage of it. They exploited it. Like Jennifer just looks washed up now, that's the truth. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot older than her age. It's just the stress and the trauma. She's younger than me. Jennifer's about 4 years younger than me. Do you know what I mean? And so is Amanda, but oh, I hope Amanda's all right. Amanda's the one in the middle. Oh my God, the guy, and this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. It's not only about the guys violating the women and like essaying them. It's also men who have pred behavior. Do you know what I'm saying? Because her ex coerced the former member to get multiple terminations. Guys, there's so much tea. I was just in there for so long. You know, like when you're just, like I was in there from 19 years old. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, are you all right? And when I've got out of there now, I'm starting to think about everyone that's in there and the preds that they're married to. And I'm so concerned. I'm so concerned. If you're listening and you're in there and you know me, because you might be on the FYP, why are you still in there? Why are you there? And that's why the people that are still in there that really know me, like really used to talk to me and this, that, and the third, that's how I know. That's how I know. You're in there because you're married and you've got your kids in there and all your friends are in there because you know it's a cult. Sharon knows it's a cult, Elvis's wife. She knows it's a cult. I hope you're watching on the FYP and you jump. Bruv, SPAC is the worst of worst. Do you know what though, babe? You and me will fight, you know. Because you think SPAC is the worst, I think DAG is the worst. So whose is the worst? Because we both will say it. But it's true, babe. We're both gonna think our cults are the worst, and because it is in what we went through, and they're doing all the same tactics as well. That's why I don't really like the rhetoric. People don't really understand cults, so they're just out here giving up misinformation. Do you know what I mean? Because the smaller cults are actually worse. Because what I found with the smaller cults is, and there's a lot more SA that's gone in. So although yes, church cults like UCKG, my cult, they've got a bigger reach, so more women can be getting ABUSE deeds. However, you can have a woman that there's only 10 of them, do you know what I mean, in that church cult, but the amount of things that she's been through, 10 of them women can't even say that they experienced what she went through in the dynamics of that SA. Do you understand? Because I can't say, because I've been sworn, you know, like these are things. But guys, I don't think you understand. You lot don't understand. I've been involved in a church cult because there was a church cult I was exposing, and as a result of the exposure, it empowered other survivors to start exposing it. And the stuff that they started exposing, because you know I have to be careful because of law, I'm putting my face out there, but they didn't care. They was exposing everything, and it got the attention of the popo. And they actually called me up, guys, and I was part of this investigation, but I had to take my foot off the brake because I was like, this is too much. But I'll tell you something, I became privy to some of the more detailed accounts of the ABUSE. When I tell you, you see these mugs, that's why I'm saying do what you want, baby. Do what you want. I'm only advising you because I can't talk about that case because the woman's told me in confidence, and then also it's a police investigation now. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I can't just so when people are saying, but now we're moving into 2026, I'm gonna be revealing a little bit more. And that's why when people are saying things to me like, oh, I've got such a bad headache. When people are saying things to me like, oh, we are not seeing anyone. You are not talking. You're not talking. You're not saying it. Yeah, because you think this is a joke. When I tell you the nature, guys, I'm talking about objects. These man them use objects. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Those who know, chair. And guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, yeah. Because I remember I said I have to expose myself in the process of this a little bit, yeah. When it comes to, like, you know, I come from a background of CCE, like child criminal exploitation, like being with GANGs. The reason why I talk about this is because, wait, what's my train of thought? Yeah. The schmegs that you have with them, yeah, like obviously there's a culture of like, you know, when you look at hip hop music and stuff, women are very over sexualized to be like, you know, like X symbols. There's a lot of like the corn industry as well is, you know, kind of like attached to it. So the way that these road guys will deal with you will be very much like one of these corn films because, that's how a lot of them learn how to get down and dirty, okay? They didn't have like dads in their life to teach them this and that. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because I want to say that I've experienced what I would consider as rough, you know what, yeah? I can say that I've experienced it within that lens. And I want to say, although this is not rough, you know what, but I'm just using this to explain, people see these guys as unalivers. They're like the most dangerous in society, this and that. But I want to let you know that I have never heard or experienced, or even my mind could not fathom the level of ABUSE that these mogs have been doing up to these women. And that's why when the stuff starts getting exposed, like, you know, when they catch this guy because he's gone on the run. Guys, this is how crazy it is. There's a pastor that's gone on the run, Charlie. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? Because people are playing with me. People are playing with me. They want to come in and, you know, they want to be doing up whatever. They're forgetting. People are forgetting. People are forgetting, chair. I'm going to have to... 2026 is about me reminding people who the F I am outside in these streets. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. Oh, my thing is burnt. Oh, actually, guys, do you think I can get away with this? Do you think that's all right? It's a bit black, innit? What do you lot think? Oh my God, this is all going on YouTube. All right, love you, YouTube. I'm disabled. This is my life. I've got to do this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not... All right. So I want to get back into this, guys, quickly. So we're going to look at the Madonna Hall complex, and it's a bit more expanded. So you understand the ideology that we've got the sacred women. Oh, scrape it off. Oh, all right. We've got the sacred women, we've got the outsiders, the worldly women that are painted as 304s, but then we just do have the 304s that are actually in those professions. Because remember, the pastors be outside in these streets using services for 304s, okay? That is something that is, you know, it's becoming more common than I anticipated. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Like, roadman them, they don't really need to go and get a 304. What roadman you gonna see in a 304 club? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all of these guys, chair. These guys are lurking in the darkness. Do you understand what I'm saying? These man them go into places that we didn't even know existed. That's the levels. Wait, can you not see me? Because I can't have this being ghetto for YouTube, man. I have to have standards. Yeah, chair. Do you understand what I'm saying? Guys, I don't think you understand. Anyway, it's all getting exposed in 2026. I can't wait. It's 2026 now, but do you know what I mean? After March, chair. After March, chair. That's when I'm doing up the podcast. That's when I'm doing up the podcast, chair. Do you know what I mean? So it's my own podcast. Everybody's going to be getting exposed in the car. Do you know what I mean? Ooh. And it's going to be quite interesting because, like, these people think I'm doing it for them, but I ain't. Because even if I had, like, even when these women sit there and they talk about their story, they're going to be so, oh, they got paid. This is lies. She's a witch. She's influenced them. She's put a spell on them. She is a Jezebel. They'll tell themselves whatever they got to tell themselves so that they can stay in that cognitive dissonance. And that's why I said, like, I'm not out here trying to save anyone. Do you get what I'm saying? Because some people are going to be in there till the day they unalive. Guys, I've seen old men unalive in there. I've seen young men unalive in there. Do you get what I'm saying? Waiting on these invisible blessings. And do you know what I think the crazy thing is? Like, whenever someone unalives, like, if they like them, if they're a favourite, because remember, if they don't like you, they're not going to raise no money for you, chair. Is that guy from SPAC still here? So, you know, they want people, like, people don't even have money to pay for their funerals. People don't even have money to pay for their funerals. Yeah. That's what it's like though, innit? You're right. Sorry guys, let me just make my breakfast, chair. Because I said, oh, I'm feeling a little bit better this morning. Just a little bit. I said, let me come on and do a live chair. But YouTube, if you're watching this later, if you're watching it in the morning, get some breakfast. Let's have breakfast together. All right. Because I can eat toast on the thing with you guys. Because this actually helps me to make breakfast when you guys are on. So, all right. And this is why wives are resented, church women are targeted, outsider women are treated transactionally. The man does not see women, he sees categories. The man does not see women, he sees categories. This is basic male psychology, ladies. Basic male psychology. They see categories, they put you into categories like wifey material. That's why it's not, that's why I don't want to be desired by men. I don't want to be, not desired. I don't want a man because I don't want you to put me in a category. I'm a goddess. Do you know what I mean? I can't be put in a category. I'm ethereal, I'm a goddess, I'm magical. It's like, wow, when you see me. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be put in no category. And that's what confuses the man then. Because they put me in a category and they think, ooh, you know, they might think, oh, I'm a bit, you know, because I'm a bit fiery or whatever. And that's why it ends up getting really toxic because I'm educated. I can be, you know, I can present myself in different places. But usually a woman's like maybe one or, you know what I mean? So you got to be careful, ladies. You got to be careful. You know, when you got that sauce, you got to be careful, man, because these guys, they'll want to trap you in a way and still have their cake and eat it too. So examples can be like a guy paying for your life. Do you know what I mean? But manipulating you so that he has his cake and eats it too and still has other women out there. You got to be careful. And so that's why I say, like, I'm not putting people off like dating rich men, but I just say know what you're doing. You got to be emotionally and mentally stable to deal with these men and because they got a lot of issues, you know. All right, so let's continue this. So it's eating breakfast with Leah now. It's eating brekkie with Leah, and we're talking about essay in the church cults, and we're exploring why men have affairs, why they cheat on their wives, and why they take advantage of vulnerable young women in the church. All right, I'm going to be chewing, guys, sorry. Why outside women are treated like 304s. This is a crucial insight, guys. Psychologically, outsider women are demonized. They carry no spiritual status. They are used to discharge shame. That's interesting, isn't it? They carry no spiritual status. That's really interesting. Do you know what I mean? Because it's true. It's to do with the spiritual status as well, like how they respect the women. Oh, she's a spiritual daughter of the house. He's a spiritual. That's why I didn't sleep with a guy in the church. Go. When I went to backslide, I went outside of the house. Because in my mind, I thought in my psyche, it would be better to go out and sleep with a guy that's already sinning. That's how they teach you in there. You don't want a brother of the house to fall, but sin is sin. So do you see how they got people in there? That's when it turns into self-righteousness, sanctimonious, Pharisee spirit, repulsive. And that's when it goes from people doing stuff like that to then, you know what I mean, stealing someone's fiance, or they're pick-me's in there, man. Just make sure if you're in there, especially if you're in the choir, you've got eyes in the back of your head, Shell. So this is called sexual objectification as affect regulation. Oh my God. The woman becomes a container for desire, a stress release mechanism. Sorry guys, I'm just laughing because I've been through this. A disassociated object. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know when they disassociate from you and it's like, it's just cold. This is not about schmegs. It's about using another human to manage internal conflict. Guys, I feel a bit sick. I don't think I can have the bread. You know, because I'm just recovering that. So this is not about schmegs. It's about using another human to manage internal conflict. So let's look at why preaching becomes misogynistic and obsessed with Jezebel's cheese. Maybe I should have just gone for the dry, but it's not sitting like it's not. There's something wrong with my stomach, babe. I've got to go back to the GP and get referred because there's something wrong with my stomach, like my digestive system. I can feel it because I've not been eating. I actually need to call, guys, I need to call the GP. So I'll be on here until about 8 and then I'll call the GP and then I'll come back later. So why, because you know what, I was sitting here thinking, because I'm not going to go into what happened, but it was just something that started making me think about how these men are just so misogynistic and why they're so obsessed with like talking about Jezebels in the preaching and why they're so just obsessed with Jezebels, like why they feel the need to have to talk about women that are in the world and stuff. It's like giving obsession. Oh, do you know what I'll put up for this? Let me put up RPF because I think this is quite fitting actually. Putting up RPF. RPF is a mess, chair. Do you know why I kept this picture? Because I feel like it just personifies these church cults. Like everyone's in their head wrap. You got the second gen member standing there. I know that he's a pastor or like someone. His parents are first generation religious. I mean, come on, we can tell. And then this is just giving like severe brainwashing. Like you can see the disassociation in her eyes and in this picture. And it was a video and she was getting ready to answer the picture and I said, Ross Clark, this girl looks severely indoctrinated. This is the offline look that I'm talking about. Lights are on, no one's home, yeah? This is the offline look that they got and I was so happy that I got to get it. Yeah! It was just perfect. And this is what I'm saying, like I like to psychoanalyze, so you know me, I don't miss a beat, yeah? I think I'm gonna make my tea again. I don't like this tea, chair. Do you know what, guys? I was using evaporated milk. And since I've used the evaporated milk, it's like, my tea don't taste the same. But it's like, chair, that evaporated milk is teeth, chair. So why do they do this? Why do they talk so much about the Jezebel? Why is it a topic of conversation? Guys, I need to, oh God. I've lost where I was. Because I don't want to lose. Yeah. So this is textbook projection. Thanks for the follow, my love. This is textbook projection. The psychological mechanism as to why these men preach about Jezebels when they're, they're obsessed with it, this, that, and the third. I cannot. So this is the mechanism, the psychological mechanism going on in their mind as they're berating and breaking down the absolutely drop dead gorgeous woman that's in the church cult that they could never get. That's well out of their league. Okay, let's talk about it. I cannot tolerate my desire. Therefore, women are dangerous. Because part of me coming out of the church cult and leveling up and, when I go outside and I'm looking good and all of the man them are falling all over me. This is what I realised because I'm quite aggressive on the roads. I do up a lot of road rage. And what happens is when the guys will be getting angry, when I cross them or whatever. Then when they come to see me, they come to cuss, but they're like, because you've seen a beautiful woman now, you've seen a beautiful face and you can't get angry at it. Now it's like, oh, it's all right, love. So the men don't like that power that beautiful women have over them to control them. And that's why the women will be like, oh, the Jezebel, she's sick of my husband. She's praying, but it's your husband, baby girl. It's your husband. So you in there and you praying for Jezebel, but it's your husband because he cannot tolerate his desire. Therefore, he thinks that women are dangerous. So in his mind, he has a Madonna whore complex, and he's put you in the categories. So you're the holier than thou slave that he's got at home that he's gonna use and abuse. And then we got his nice old little mistress on the side, and he's, do you know what I mean? Come on, man. Come on, man. That's why the Nigerian man, they like to have the two, like women, like they like to have their wives, and then they like to have their girlfriends. Yeah, because there's the wives, girlfriends, and then there's the mistresses, and then there's just the 304s in the club. Yeah. And that's the thing, and that's the thing why I had to stop in that fear, because I'm like a bird. I'm very free. And let me tell you something. You see the Niger man them? Not only the man them, the wives get down as well, because they're just in these marriages. They don't want to be with each other. They don't even like each other. And then they're just with other people. And they think that's more functional and more stable for a child to be in that situation where both parents are just out on each other. And there's no LOVE in the home, and there's no conversation. They haven't got anything in common. And the dad's out of the house like majority of the time. How is that a secure environment for a child to grow up in, please? And then you add the extra layer to it, where the dad is like a mog or a pastor. That's why it messes them up. The kids, the PKs, child. Do you know what I mean? They're the strangest out of the bunch, and it's sad. It's sad. It's sad that, you know, their parents' own egos and refusal to deal with, you know, childhood, with their trauma, has led to, you know, the result of their kids. And a lot of them have like severe mental health because they've been like overstimulated. There's been like, you know, unchecked diagnosis. So instead of them going to the appropriate services, getting the child, you know, assess, like looking into like knowledge, like look into maybe the child might be autistic or might have, you know, mental health, ADHD or whatever. They try to suppress it. Do you know what I mean? And instead of, they'll be praying, doing strong prayers, strong tongues, instead of getting the child some help. So guys, it's messed up in there. My heart goes out to the PKs, the second gens. And as the time goes on, like with the, hopefully 2000, later on in this year, there'll be a lot more content, I believe, coming soon for the second geners, guys. But I don't think it's for me to do. I think there's another voice that will be rising up soon, that I think can be a really pivotal voice in the second gener. So there's been an intentional reason why I haven't done certain things or spoken about certain things, because I have a collective behind the scenes that I speak to, and I know what their experiences are, what their traumas are, and what their stories are. And so I always have hope. I'm patient. When that time comes, it will come, and you will see the survivors speaking out in all their glory, child. All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This tea is perfect. So desire is externalized and demonized. Okay. Oh, girl, go and get some surgery done. So this is not just about a schmegs addiction, okay, but compulsive sexuality and power. So these men are often described as schmegs addicts, and they are. Oh, hey, Darren. They're usually described as schmegs addicts, and they are. That's exactly what they are, because these men are literally buying women. Do you know what I'm saying, guys? So that's what an addict is, because they need it. Instant. This, that. They're putting themselves in danger. They're putting their lives and their wives' life at risk, because they're doing up bareback with the 304s, and then they're going and sleeping with the wives because they're so desperate. There's such an addiction there. You got to remember, with people who are on like hard food, they don't care. They don't care. They'll do whatever they got to do to get that hit. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why you see them walking around like, if you're from the ends, like the hood, there's gonna be like a hood, like sea head. Do you know what I mean? That just comes out, walks out, got nothing on. You know, there's been times like I've had to like cover the sea head. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they just become part of the ends, and it's like, you don't want to see that. It's so sad. But that's the realness, guys. That's how they become. They just need to get a hit. They don't care how they get it, where they get it. They're just, you know what I mean? They'll put their life in danger. They won't think about what the impacts, the consequences, because they need to get it. Do you know what I mean? It's like someone who's really, you know what, to hard food. Yeah. If you don't know what hard food is, guys, I don't know what to tell you, because I can't, you know, TikTok's very sensitive. And then we've got the compulsive eggshell behavior disorder. This is called CSBD. Because I want people to understand that this isn't just men being men. Do you know what I mean? And they're just like, you know, sleeping around with the women and their pastors, and they've just been sleeping and the woman is to blame. Like, we have to change that rhetoric. I'm gonna dismantle it. You see the modesty, Jezebel, this year, I'm gonna dismantle it with, you know, like rip it up with my own hands. That's what I'm gonna do. Like, women are gonna start feeling embarrassed to say that that's what they're doing up in 2026 by the time I'm done with them in there, because it's just the MESS. Like, there's so much, for lack of knowledge my people perish. There's no knowledge, so they're just sitting there with their sanctimonious washed up 304 selves. Now because they're doing up church for 5 minutes and they've got a ring on it, they want to be talking. Baby, you can't talk outside in these streets, and that's why I leave them to talk. Because you'll be judged upon every word that you blood clot speak. But these people don't know God. Oh, they don't know who God is. They're using his word in vain, like there's no power. Like, God is not gonna honor what you do. When you're sitting there like Ollie and he's saying, oh, he's bringing out his things to witches, but you're a witch. You're the witch. So you're sitting there thinking, and I come against, you're coming against yourself. That's why you have to go to Germany. That's why the laws are put up. But instead of you acknowledging that it's your behavior and your ABUSC to the public, you'll be sitting there praying because you think it's witches that are stopping. You see what I mean? It's lunacy. Einstein said, when you do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that is lunacy. And that's what they've been doing for centuries. But now technology's caught up with them and they can't go back on what they've said because they're going to start looking like hypocrites. So what happens? They're stuck between a rock and a hard place because they had no idea that the whole world was going to rise up against them and start exposing them. Yeah. This is exposure. That's why Christ said, we will do greater works. This is the greater works. This is the blood clot greater works. Finishing what he blood clot started. You get me? Are you all right? And Mary Magdalene. They try and silence up the voice of Mary Magdalene. Go and try and destroy the women's books. All of the old. It's up to us. Why are they burning goddess worship and temples and Mesopotamian civilizations? They're trying to delete history to stop like the record of ourselves and those who came before us. Why? And then they want to put us in some cult program that indoctrinate the education system, and then give us what history stuff we need to learn based off the country that it's mad. Oh my God. This matrix is wild, Everyone's waking up to the fact that we're in a matrix. That's it. And the ones that are sleeping, they're in the church. It talks about it in the Bible, but they've mixed it up. They've collated it in a way where you got to decode it. You got to decode the Bible. Do you know what I'm saying? It's sad, man. All right, so that's why sermons fixate on women's bodies. So this is what we've all been asking, guys. The pred behavior where they focus so much. The woman is like a Coca-Cola bottle. You like girls with big bum bum. You like this. You like that. You like that. This is why. Eggshellized normal behavior. Oh, so you are, just the inappropriate. Like the pastors will just be so inappropriate because it's all projection. They're not getting none in the yard. They are not like men. So the only way that they get to feel masculine and like a man is through this very subtle projection that comes across in very pred ways. All right. It could be asking you, like Reverend Stephen Ajapong, you say, Leah, are you giving your husband good schmecks? Are you giving it to him good? Why are you talking to me like that? It even made me feel uncomfortable when I was severely indoctrinated. So they obsess over modesty, frame women as temptations, and invoke Jezebel spirits. The more intense the repression, the more violent the projection. Misogyny becomes a defense against desire, their own desires that they can't control. So they get to stand up in front of the pulpit and act like holier than thou, and then in the evening, they're buying 304s. And I'm not saying no allegedly. I'm not saying no allegedly because I got the receipts. I'm not saying that's not allegedly. That's not allegedly, that's guanin. That's happening in real time, chair. So it's not just an addiction, guys, but compulsive SA power. These men are often described as addicts, but clinically this is closer to compulsive eggshell behavior disorder combined with narcissistic entitlement. Yeah. Could you imagine sleeping with one of these guys? And that's why I'm saying, like, it's so much easier to say, there's a demon inside me. I've had a demon because I let the pastor sleep with me. And then now you go from the fire into the pan. Because now you got a personal prophet and you're sitting there and you're letting this man violate you and just the same cycle again and again and again. So you've got to really unpack it, understand the predator. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, make sense of what happened to you. How are you going to do that? You got to unpack it. You got to read. You got to learn. You got to, do you get what I'm saying? Go and find out about this thing. Then there's the secrecy, lack of empathy, risk-taking, abuse of authority, inability to stop despite harm, rationalization via ideology. Crucially, cult systems reward charisma, punish disclosure, silence victims, protect leaders, and blame women. They also reward, like, you know, the souls. If you can bring a lot of souls in, they reward you with titles. That's how they make them pastors and bishops in my cult. You do exams on DAG, on his books, and then if you bring a lot of people, yeah. And it makes it unequal in there. It's an unequal system because the men can go off to missions, they can start branches, they could do whatever when they're not married, but the women have to be married before they can go on missions. The women have to be this, so it's like the woman is the problem, but it's the men. So do you see what I mean? But they put it like that because really it's a patriarchal, misogynistic system. So they really want it to just be men. And ideally in these church cults, this is why women are exploited the most, because really they HAT you and the book, you know them ones, how they put it together, and you're in there, yeah? And what I will say to you is, this is just so traumatic. So the women are getting blamed, yeah? The women are getting blamed, they're getting over-actualized, and this is all because of a narcissist, because of his projections and his insecurities. So if there weren't, because there's so many women, there's more women in the population worldwide than there are men, they can't not have women in the ministry, but they will have a woman working her arse off, like behind the scenes, a guy who's doing a lot less and he'll be a pastor, and the woman will be doing everything, running RPF, and she won't even have a pastor title. That's just how they go on in there. They see women as the weaker vessel, as the inferior vessel, as the one who is responsible for the downfall of mankind, humanity. Yeah? All right. So these are the kind of individuals that we're dealing with. These are the ideologies that are getting perpetuated. This is why we have women looking like this in their 20s, yeah? All right. Okay. So let's move on to the next bit. So the pathology is structurally enabled. All right. Let's look at the mother wound and intergenerational misogyny. So many of the men that are in these settings were raised with hyper-religious mothers with severe mental health that was undiagnosed and covered with hyper-religion. Yeah, yeah. Submissive maternal models. Yeah, do you know what? Productions, everything's peak. Yeah. Wicked and dapper, man. Everything's peak in there. Everything. That's why I'm exposing it, man. Because I'm disabled. Right now, I'm having to lean back. I can't even sit up. My whole back is aching. Do you understand? I can't even do things with my kids. I can't go on holidays. I might end up in a wheelchair. I might have to get a mobility scooter. I can't walk to my local shop, bro. 18 years in there. 18 plus. I'm in the gutter right now. You think I ain't got a damn thing to lose, baby? I ain't got a thing to lose. This is full concentration on the movement. I'll tell you that for free. So continue ABUSE and people. There's going to be people coming out with more fire, more thing than me. Yeah? Yeah, I'm surviving, man. I survived. It's mad. I can't believe I survived it. I was there singing. These times it's like an international ring. That's what these church cults can do, because they can easily, the migration of people and women, like, you know, almost like, you know, shotting women off. Do you understand what I'm saying? To other men in chair. But you know what? The women in my church cult are hard, chair, because there was a guy that they got from Ghana to marry this like high ranking member. Chair. The guy couldn't even stay married to the girl for a year. He went running back to Ghana. He couldn't tolerate her. Then they gave her like a granddad, like a really old man. All right. So men were raised with hyper-religious mothers or mothers with severe mental health. And That mental health can be that the mum stayed with the dad the whole life, and that's murdered up her head on period, point blank. On period, point blank. Mummy didn't leave daddy, and as a result of that, the women, the guys have, the men have secondhand trauma. Especially, there's a lot of DV in these demographic of people from across the way, yeah, because you know TikTok sensitive. There's a lot of DV, a lot. That's why you just hear like the woman just unalive. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they hide things, they cover things. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're all about reputation, the culture, like how things look, like that their children are the glory of their life, and your children are the glory of their life, but they're all sitting around the table. They're disassociated because your husband's been putting hands on you for 30 years. He's got kids all around the world, so your kids are all sitting there dissociated, completely out of it. Are you all right? You've raised kids that are afraid to get into relationships. You've raised kids that are afraid to love and have healthy relationships because they've never seen an example. But because you're married and your name's the same on both, and this is why the men are passenger princesses, just bees, just gyal. They're just gyal because they've been mollycoddled by the hyper religious women, and also you got to remember, in this, what we're talking about, the men are like the prize. They're seen as the prize, and they're taught to wear abuse as the crown, and you know, to really wear it on their head. So, you know, you've got these men that they've been enabled by their mother, and they can do no wrong. That's why sometimes when you divorce them, the mum will be making the situation worse and canoodling the situation because she's there listening to her son that she gave birth to. So they cut the women in these cultures. The women are cut off from their divinity, their divine feminine power, like their wisdom. So that's why I said, like, there's not many men that were raised as queens, but they see their mother as a queen because she was submissive, loyal to the dad. No, she wasn't. She was a doormat, getting walked all over, rubbing off the shoes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, daddy just used and abused. You know, I've got exes that the dad took him on holiday with his mistress when he was like 16, and he was driving his dad around with his mistress. Like, how dysfunctional is that? Like, you get exposed to that at such a young age, and you believe that that man's never going to be faithful. That man's never going to be faithful, chair. Never. And that's why I had to get out of the situation with him, because it was just too toxic. And I could have got him. Because you know I'm into males. You know I'm into the psychology, chair. I could have got that ninja, but you know, I don't chase. And even when you've done me wrong and you start coming back, you have to go hard. You got to be up for it, you know, because this is a marathon. This is a blood clot marathon. But one thing I will say is, I'm a blood clot here when it comes to friendships, relationship dynamics, whatever. Because when I walk out of your life, baby, I know my worth. Because I'm not bringing nothing to the table. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm not bringing absolutely nothing to the table, chair. It's a banqueting hall. Do you know what I mean? Are you all right? This is luxury. I'm not having it. That's why I'm staying by myself, because I just don't think that any man can provide for me what I want to provide for myself. And I'm just going to do it myself. DIY, do it yourself. And a lot of our survivors are disabled. We're not going to have partners. It's not realistic because of our disabilities. Do you know what I mean? We're living with long-term chronic fatigue. We're in and out of hospital. We've got high needs. So like, I've got BPD. Do you know what I mean? I can't be... listen, it just gets too toxic, Jaya. And then I just start getting obsessed emotionally. I think I'm in love with the guy. I'm not even in love with the guy, but it's like in my psyche, I'll be thinking I'm in love with the guy. No. I cannot do that to myself, not at all. So, did I turn this on? Oh, sugar. Charlie! All right, so that's just a little FYI. Okay. So they've got emotionally absent or authoritarian fathers. So a lot of y'all, your daddy was there, but he was emotionally absent. You never got cuddles, you never got kisses, you never got affection, you never got hugs. Like the dad, a lot of dads, they infantile the children because they don't know how to show their emotions. And they haven't got an example. Very few African men, they haven't got an example of seeing their mother being loved. And that really is what it means to be a man, like holding a woman down, like, you know, like this, that, and the fact. But a lot of them have just been cowards, unfortunately, just taken the easy route, been selfish, you know, think their own desires, you know. That's why there's so many. That's why a broken home it's not about what is said on paper. It's about the trauma that these kids carry after that relationship and that marriage. And that's why we're seeing that there's a lot of kids from this side of town that are all over TikTok talking about their trauma from their mummy and daddy getting married. That's why TikTok opened my eyes so much. That's when I was like, nah, man, I need to leave this, man, because there's no way my kids are going to be sitting on TikTok. I'm there washed up. Do you know what I mean? Washed up and drained. This man has used me as a source of energy for all them years. Just suck it. That's why the women look washed up. Like they put on weight, they let themselves go, because the man is siphoning the energy. And psychologically, these men, there's a lot of like, because even when they gaslight you, and the men gaslight you a lot, do you know what I mean? Because they don't like to admit their failures, or, you know what I mean? There's a lot of ego with men, so you got to be ready for it. So there's a lot of gaslighting. And the thing is, the gaslighting it's an energetic drain. It's an energetic drain. When you ask them to do something and they're not doing it, and you're asking them over and over again, and you've got to deal with the kids, and you're working and you're paying 50-50, and the guy is not bringing in the money that he's supposed to. If he was able to provide and bring in that income, you wouldn't have to be laving yourself out and doing that job that you hate. So do you see that she's going to the job 9 to 5? How does she have time? She ain't got time to sit in the hairdressers and really beautify herself, because she's looking after the man child that his mum has mollycoddled, and he doesn't even know how to do washing. He doesn't even know how to use a washing machine. And that's how the women like it, because they control the men through that. Oh, they're not going to go nowhere. He can't even wash his own boxers. Yeah. That's the pick me. That's the pick me. But the men who are like cheaters and they're like schmegs addicts and whatever, they'll always have the most unfortunate wives. I almost feel like it's like a curse for them. Like you reap what you sow. So they're like out there, but they can never truly be happy and truly be with who they want. So they just live a life of emptiness, where they're just like sleeping with all these different women. And it lasts for a moment, but it's fleeting. So when they go to Nige and they're all out there, you know, with their 304s, and it's all nice and fleeting. But when you come back, do you understand what I'm saying? You have that moment where you just have a little bit of time. That's when you're going to be missing the je ne sais quoi. That's when you're going to be missing, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how it goes. So it's just a repeated cycle. And I would be careful with these guys, these uncles outside, because they carry a lot of trauma. Not only the trauma from having to be in unhappy marriages with unfortunate women, because them women, I don't think you understand, guys. These marriages is like they're wiring. Silent treatment. He looks at a lot of these guys have fallen in love with mistresses. Do you know what I mean? And wanted to be with the mistress, but the wife had to stay with the wife because of the culture, the kids, whatever. And they just resent the woman. They can't stand the look of her. They don't want to be in the yard. They're sleeping in, like, the husband sleeping in the living room, the woman sleeping in the room. You know what I mean? It's just dysfunctional. Like, a lot of them, that's the setup. A lot of single married couples, they're living in the same house, but they're living separate lives. That like they're separated. Whether they want to admit it or not, if you look at what separation means legally, a lot of these so-called married couples that are coming to church in their Sunday best, they're separated. On paper, they're separated. They don't even chat to each other. What differentiates a marriage from a homeboy or a cousin or a friend? It's you getting your back blown out. So if your back's not getting blown out, that's bro, babe. That's roomie. Because if you're not getting your back blown out, or you're getting your back blown out once in a blue moon, or to have kids to go and show that you can get pregnant. And that's why for years, the wives have just been fooling themselves, because it's like, it's not proof because you've had another baby that your husband LOVEs you. No, babe. It's rather proof that you've done that to try and keep a man, and it's sad. And this generation have really woken up. So we're not falling for the human fecal matter anymore. Unfortunately, I feel really sorry for women that have entangled themselves and bonded themselves to poverty, because it's just harder, ladies. It's harder to look, it's harder, it's more emotional pressure on your psyche raising a man child that has a lot of mother wounds, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of projection, there's going to be a lot of like internalized self-HAT, not only to himself but also to you, because he HATEs and resents his mother. So that's why he's continued the same cycle with you, because he HATEs women. Okay? That's what it is in a nutshell. All right, my loves? So when you come with the ring and you're telling me, oh, Mrs. D's, Mrs. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. And you know what my biggest pet peeve is with like these married women? That's why I'm really gonna come hard for them this year. Oh God, by the time I'm gonna come so hard for them. It's unbelievable. Like, so I hope that they're ready. I hope that you're ready, Charlie. One of my biggest beefs with the married women that have come before, and I do appreciate some women have been working on, you know, managing the trauma, unpacking what's happened to them, processing it. But the aunties, no, I have absolutely no mercy, and I'll be going absolutely ham. Do you know what I mean? It's going to shake it up. People are going to be like, oh, Leah, it's going to be so controversial. I don't care. I'm not caring about being politically correct. I'm saying it exactly as it is. And I'm going to be doing it on my burner account. I don't even care. I don't even care about that account. I'm just going to be going absolutely ham. I don't care. Because I've had enough. Like the broken generations and like the cyclical trauma from washed up 304 hyper religious pick-me's has been absolutely devastating to our generations, especially in the BLK community. They just internalize it so much more. So we've got men that were raised by women who internalized misogyny and normalized it, love conditional on obedience. All right, so they learn daddy only loves mummy because she's obedient, she's a slave, I can do what I want. And the men mess up their kids. Exposing their children to that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like that cycle is going to be perpetuated, and then that guy doesn't realize that in him doing that, that's what his daughter's learning as well. He's teaching his daughter to be ABUSED because she's seeing her mum get treated like that. That's how kids learn. It's through social learning. It's not from what's on paper. It's not from school. And that's why they think, oh yeah, you know, they're concentrating on getting their kids to go to church, but you're having a full-blown affair with another woman that you're in love with, and it shows in the house because you're starting all of these arguments. You should be at home doing family time, but you're starting all of these arguments because you want to get out of the house. Do you know what I'm saying? You're looking for any excuse to go and blow out the back of your mistress that supplies all of your schmegsel needs. Why? Because you're selfish. And then you've got the other, and guys, don't ever get it twisted. It's not just the men. The women also sleep with other people as well. And that happens a lot in the Nige community. It happens a lot in the Nige. Because them women, chair. How them women get down, them Nige women, chair. And again, they know how to present themselves. And another thing with the Nige girls is, the 304s, they go back home and they rinse themselves out back home because London's a small place. Because I've been in that scene. So I've been around these gal them. London's a small place. So what they do is, you know, when you see all those girls with a Chanel bag and they're just working in the local authority, you know what I'm saying? They're only on like, what, 30K a year? 27, 20. You're an admin, you're an administrator. You're an apprentice administrator, and you're coming to work with your Chanel and your £1,500 unit. You just come back from Nigeria. I went to Nigeria for 4 months. And now you've come back administrative apprentice, and you have your Chanel bag and your £1,000 closure. So they go to Nige for like a couple of months. They'll go there like 304 themselves out because it's like bigger. Because in their mind, they think like Africa's so huge, so no one will know their business. But if they do that hair, like 304 themselves out here in the UK, like the scene is smaller, so people will know their name. So this is what I'm saying. These are the type of gal them that be doing up that, then they come back in the church. Like, you know, when they're like washed up now, like no one wants them, that's when they start getting like back into the religion. And a lot of these girls, a lot of them are in white garment churches as well. White garment. The more hyper religious it is, like these type of settings, the more hyper religious they are, the more you see them doing up the modesty thing, and they've been brought up, the more 304 they'll be outside. Does that make sense? Is what I'm saying making sense? That's why it shocked me when the girl was white garment, and I was like, Ross, ain't you not the ones with the bonnets and the long dresses and do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's giving none. So why are you doing up that girl? Do you get it? My girl's going every Sunday, jail. And even when she first told me, I wasn't trying to like, because I weren't like cult Leah them days. I was just working normally. Do you know what I mean? Like trying to rebuild my life, and, you know, she was telling me about white garment, and I'm not going to judge. You know, now I know it's a culture, but back then, no. So I'm not going to judge. You get me? Like, I was just like, oh, is it? Like, she was showing me pictures of her sister's wedding, and there was like some thing that, I don't know, I think they did it in Africa, and it's got some green they were drinking. I said, Ross Clark. But, you know, I was with it because by then I was a bit more spiritual. So I was into like, you know, my herbal teas and whatever. So I'm looking at it like it's a little herbal thing, innit? I'm like, ooh, you know me, because I'm sure I'm autistic. I just see things. Like I was speaking to one of the people that supported me yesterday, and I was saying I'm like a blown up kid. I said that's the only way I can describe it. I just feel like airy, like airheads. I don't know how to. And I'm not saying autistic people are airheads. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying, but I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. You know, some autistic girls are like that. The baddies. We seem to be a little bit more like, it's almost cute. But that's the thing. I had to realize that this was, I'm a vulnerable adult. Oh, guys, I got to go in 3 minutes. I'll come back though, because I'm in the mood to talk. I'm a vulnerable adult. So I had to come to that realization. Like, these man them can see I'm vulnerable. Do you know what I'm saying? They can see, they might not be able to put their finger on it, but they know there's something, you know. And I realize that they prey on that vulnerability, because listen, even now you can see with this on and whatever, I'm a very beautiful woman. Do you get what I'm saying? And these men, when you've got like a vulnerability and you're a beautiful woman, oh my God, they will take advantage. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they will take advantage, chair. All right, so I've got to come off now because I've got to ring the GP in a minute. So I just want to finish this internalized mother wounds. And when I come back, I'm gonna go on YouTube actually, because I am feeling a bit stronger today. So I'll go on YouTube. All right. So psychological outcome: contempt for vulnerability, entitlement without intimacy. So that's why I was saying a lot of these guys, they close their eyes when they're doing it with their wives. They close their eyes, they don't kiss them. And it's just, there's no, like, you know, for a woman, we need the intimacy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to feel loved, for them, like the difference between just blowing out the back and then having real intimate, you know, is like the man should know your body. And it's like every touch should feel like he's worshipping and adoring you. And you should be able to feel that energetically. I will accept nothing less than that, chair. Sorry, because the way my ex used to deal with this, oh my God, that's why I'm like this. It's gone up a level because of my ex. Because oh my God, he treated me like Beyonce, Mona Lisa. You know what I'm saying? Artwork. Oh God, the way he used to deal with this body. Do you know, it was just crazy. And that was the first time like I'd experienced, like, you know, because he wanted to do his best, bless him. You know, because I was a Buffers League. And I was really into it, do you know what I mean? And he was quite vanilla, and, you know, he really tried to challenge. No, I'm getting distracted. Come on, guys, because I got to go to GP. Okay, quickly. So the entitlement without intimacy, I'm just saying, so a lot of these married couples, they'll be there like, you know, talking their talk, but you got no intimacy, babe. Your man don't even lips you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's given 304. You get treated more like a 304 than the 304 that he's dating and paying for her services. He's treating you more like the 304 than the 304 that he's dealing with. Can you that? So that's why I'm confused, because the wives are like, oh, he's not going to leave. Of course he's not going to leave you, babe, because he's got his cake and he can eat it too. You got the yard. You're going to work. You're doing 50-50. He could just do what he wants. He just does what he wants. And that's why the Nige guys, like, they're all entrepreneurs, because the wives are the ones working the 9 to 5, getting the home out in their name, doing all, and then they're DUMB, do you know what I'm saying? And then they're doing their stuff on the side, because you know they're never fully legit. And then it's all going in the wife's name, and then they can't leave the wife, because they can't separate the properties, the projects, all of the stuff, that the money, it's all tied together. That's the only reason they're with their wives. That's how they have the power. Because a lot of them are not legally married, they're traditionally married, but they put properties. If you're traditionally married to a man and he's got money and there's no properties in your name, you're an idiot. I've got to go. If you're married to if you've done a traditional marriage, with a broke guy, I can't help you. I can't. That's just, you've just bound yourself to poverty, unfortunately. But if you've married a rich man and you ain't got no properties in your name, ooh, child, you better be careful, child, because he gonna walk out one day and he gonna leave you for that mistress. That's what he's gonna do up. So I'd be careful. All right, and then I'm gonna leave it as entitlement without intimacy, unresolved rage towards women, confusion between control and love. Then we've got later women are dominated instead of bonded with. Then we've got submitted to instead of chosen. And then punished for arousing desire. This is intergenerational trauma reenacted through theology. So it's all a cover up. The theology, the hyper religion, it's all a cover up. And that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. I'll be back. I'll see how I feel after I come off the phone to my GP. But I hope I have strength to come on and do some lives today, because I've got a lot of exciting things I want to discuss. So guys, all pray for me, or and send good intentions for me for my health, guys, just so I'll have strength to just like get all the stuff done for the collective. That's all I care about at the moment, guys. When I tell you, yeah, I'm on my grind. 2026, that's when you're gonna see I'm a hustler, baby. But I can't wait to show you lot what I've been working on behind the scenes. I think you lot are gonna be really, really impressed and really, really proud of me. And I'm proud of me, and I can't wait. Guys, get excited. Guys, get excited. I'm telling you, you've got permission. I give you permission to get excited, because what your girl has coming up for y'all, 2 years in the making. They got it twisted, but in March anyway, they're going to see what I'm on. I love people underestimating me, chair. I'm in a blow clock here. You lot gonna see. Love you. I'll be back in a minute. Bye, guys.